Hello, everybody, and welcome back to that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a Slice of Life. I'm Shiloh, and today I'm joined by Angus.
Hi, back once again.
And so, so San Marino.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is. I've been a staunch defender of San Marino in Eurovision, but
How and why?
this is just unforgivable. I'm so sorry, people, but this year is the biggest mess yet because we were promised less than 100 songs in the final, which, I mean, they technically did that by just changing the official selection process name to the San Marino Song Contest, so Una Voce is still that big. But, I mean, come on now, that's just cheating.
So let's I okay, so this is what? This is year three of Una Voce? Three, four?
Uh, three, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 22, 23. This is the fourth year. This is the fourth year. We've
Yes,
had three
okay.
before that, so.
So we've watched Una Voce evolve, right? We've watched Una Voce evolve a good bit. And there was a minute there where I think we all thought, you're figuring something out. God knows what it is. But you are getting into some kind of rhythm. Um, that rhythm is mostly poaching artists from other national finals. Although perhaps less blatantly than they've done this year. We're gonna get to that. Um, And we have Megara and we have Peaked Jacks and we have Akil Loro was Una Voce, right?
Yeah.
And so it's, they're not qualifying to the final, but people are certainly paying attention to them. Um and then we have this year. And so we started off the thing so first of all, let's address the rebrand. Um It was announced at some point this year. I forget when. Are you okay?
Is San Marino okay?
No.
Exactly.
No, yeah. So we started off the year or the San Marino year, whatever, with the announcement that it was not going to be called Una Voce per San Marino anymore. It was going to be called San Marino Song Contest. And then a few weeks later, they were like, so the auditions are going to be called Una Voce per San Marino. So we still have Una Voce for San Marino. It's just different now.
It's the national final of the national final, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. We were promised not a big art, no big artist because they scrapped that last year. That's back. We were promised fewer songs. We got more than ever. I believe this must be the biggest national final of all time, and that includes fucking Belarusian open mic night. Um,
I don't know that lore.
it's- we'll get into that sometime, but not now. I don't know it well enough to really explain it. And just in general, it feels they all of a sudden decide to change all the rules out of nowhere.
Like not just between last year and this year. Like this year alone, they say that the rules are one thing and then they change them.
Yeah, they posted the rules and regulations, and they basically were a copy from last year. Like, yeah, that's fair enough. Tighten up the final bit, don't make it overrun, and people won't be too unhappy. But
So, yeah, so to get into the we'll get into the chaos of like the past of the audition rounds in a minute, but let's talk about the artists for a sec. So
they are in
this
the
whole
final, even though as of recording, the semi-finals haven't concluded yet, but we do know who is in the final. including people who are still yet to be televised as having
Right.
performed.
And so so we'll talk about the television shenanigans in a sec, but for now, let's talk about how everybody and their mother is going to San Marino. It feels like every country and every national final this year, we have Ukrainian wild cards being like, nah, I'm going to San Marino. We had at least one person in Moldova who, and like even before Moldova was like, we're not participating actually, we had somebody from Moldova go over to San Marino. Like everybody is in San Marino. And this is not too out of character for San Marino as an entity or for Una Voce as an entity because like Megara from 2024, previously Benidorm Fest participants, right? Aquila Lauro is in Sanremo
He
now.
was in Sanremo that year, even with a different song, to be
My
fair.
God.
But he was in Sanremo that year, and that's where the "Oh, San Marino is like Italian second chance" jokes
Yeah.
came first from.
Yeah, and
Loredana
so
Berthe
speaking,
last year, also Sanremo mainstay, for example.
yeah, and so speaking of Italy, okay, all right. So despite the semifinals not having aired yet or fully aired yet, this SMRTV announced the finalists or the big artists.
No, all finalists, which includes also the people who went to the final through the second chance round. Which again, so the semi-finals have direct qualifiers and the second chance round, and even the results of the second chance round are de facto known because we know who qualified for the second chance round.
Right. And so they put out this list a couple of days ago. And this list um one of the guys from Ukraine, that Teslenko, I believe, from Ukraine.
Who withdrew from Vidbear out of nowhere after. Wait, was Teslenko the withdrawal or the person who just decided not to show up? It's one of
Teslenko
the
was
two.
the withdrawal. And then there was another woman who sent her song to San Marino later after they
Susanna,
selected Kultura as the wild card. Right. So we've got Teslenko on the short list. We've got Anji, who was in the Luxembourgish national final last year, and we've got Tutta l'Italia,
for
which
context, which I didn't know at the time, that Gabry Ponte's Tutta l'Italia, it was the San Marino, sorry, the San Remo theme song, and now it's competing for San Marino
yeah,
potentially.
and so this broke the internet because for all of Sanremo, a lot of people were saying, all these songs suck. Can't we just send Tutta l'Italia? All these songs suck. Italy should send Tutta l'Italia instead. Only for Tutta l'Italia to show up in San Marino. Like truly, what is going on?
Did someone like did the record label just send it in as a bit of a joke, and then it's now a bit that has gone too far?
I I'm I don't know. I have so many questions. Like specifically, how did Tutta l'Italia end up in there? I want to know how that happened because Sanremo was not that long ago. I've got questions, you guys. Um, and the broadcasting of this has also been sort of messy. So we got a couple of the audition rounds or semifinals, as it were, and then I think the third one was straight up just not aired. Like people thought it was going to be aired and people went onto the website and watched the stream and it just never happened. And then SMRTV was like, "We're going to air it immediately after tomorrow night's one for God knows how many hours long San Marino marathon." And then they just dropped the qualifiers on us without showing the audition round. So I what true truly what is going on?
Yeah, just yeah, just what is going on even.
Yeah, have I missed any San Marino shenanigans?
Bass has back.
Oh
Uh,
God, yeah,
Atle
Basa's back.
Petterson did. This is true for Christian, but also Atle Petterson, known from Norway, did apply and then was just absent for the recording of the semi-final. Allegedly, one of the second chance people from semi-final four just disappeared during the announcement of who qualified, so they actually are now disqualified, or maybe not. No one really knows what's going on with that. It's all almost like it all sounds fake. This all just sounds like one big prank pulled on the
This sounds
entire
like
Eurovision
ChatGPT
community.
generated a national final.
I was thinking more AO3 like a group fanfic like written by a group
Yeah,
of people. Everyone
sure.
writes a
Like screwball
chapter
comedy. This is like Eurovision the movie levels
every night
of
whilst the semi-finals.
chaos.
Every night a chapter was supposed to come out one night. Oh, we didn't get a chapter. Oh, we'll post it directly after the next chapter. Who cares if it's in order?
Yeah. Yeah. So
But having gone through that, yeah, it's the biggest national final we've ever had. Every night had like 35 performers or more for some reason. Slash will again, not all of them have aired yet, even though we know who's in the final. San Marino RTV, what are we doing? I know you outsource this to a company, but what are we doing?
yeah.
But yeah, so from the songs in the final, besides Tutta l'Italia, any songs you like or would think should go to Eurovision?
No. But that's not really what Luna Voce is about, or what San Marino Song Contest. That's not really the point of San Marino being at Eurovision. San Marino is at Eurovision to remind everybody that San Marino is a country that exists. And that's kind of it, I think.
I do like the Rumpled. They did go through the full thing, so they're not one of the big artists who automatically qualified.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're Italian Celtic punk, which
That
sure,
sounds like
why
you.
not? Yeah. Um, yeah, it's
It's dire.
I wonder what the final will just look like at this rate.
Yeah, I don't like San Marino has always been a little chaotic, and this is something that I've known ever since I first started covering it for the site. Um, when I got like surprise asked to cover the San Marino final and it went on for like 5 hours or something. And like so it's always been chaos, but I feel like this year they're gonna somehow pull even more chaos out of the bag, and we've already had so much.
Maybe this is the one way they can qualify. Maybe they were like, look, if we go just full chaos, maybe
Look,
that
I
will do the
mean,
trick.
this year is already such an adventure. Like, if San Marino somehow qualified, I wouldn't, like, that wouldn't be the weirdest thing about this Eurovision season.
Tutta l'Italia could do very well at Eurovision.
Well, here's the hilarious thing about Tutta l'Italia, right? Is that San Marino's whole thing is that they're not Italy. They refuse to be Italy. They are not Tutta l'Italia. And because Tutta l'Italia has like such a strong Sanremo association, oh, I mean, they're gonna get Deuce Point from Italy for sure.
Yeah.
But like but it's a song about Italy and being Italian, and that's not San Marino is not their whole thing is that they're not Italian. And I just like there's a difference between saying I want Italy to send Tutta l'Italia with all of the resources that RII has, and then Tutta l'Italia going to Eurovision for San Marino when San Marino often doesn't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, but there's things. So, for example, with Peak Jacks, you could tell they're a small band who had won some awards here, like small rock awards, but they were basically still a small band, so they were
Mhm.
dependent on whatever San Marino was able to cook up. But
Mhm.
then Megara had like some established like visuals ready to go clearly,
Mhm.
and I mean Aquila Lauro just brought his own creative people. You could just tell that was just all him and his group of people around him. And there are some I mean, there are multiple artists with Wikipedia pages in the final. That's already a good start for any national final.
Yeah.
Um, And some of them definitely will be able to have a good creative team about it. Like Gabry Ponte, you know, one of the record labels will jump in to make sure it's not an embarrassment on the Eurovision stage.
Yeah.
But
But I still don't think it's a good idea.
it could look, but who even knows what they're going to send in? At this rate, it's going to be, I don't know, Haimara or something, or who even knows?
Who
Then again,
even
also
knows?
keep an eye out. So King Fu are Slovenian. I assume the Haimara are like from somewhere in the Spanish world. So we've had people also go from San Marino to other national finals. That's the route that Nebulosa took. Nebulosa first went to San Marino, and then the year after went to and won Benidorm. So keep an eye out for any of these artists at a national final slash Eurovision near you in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And so why don't we talk a little bit about San Marino's like prospects? Now, obviously, we don't know what they're gonna send.
No.
Like truly God knows. But with this, as we've already sort of said, this year's Eurovision season has been really kind of weird. We like there have been some truly baffling song selection choices. And there have been some other choices that have not been baffling, but are just like not good or interesting.
You're kinder than I would be. I must give San Marino this. None of these songs sound like something we have in this year's Eurovision. That's partially because all of these songs are very dated,
Mhm.
but I do like almost all of these songs would at least bring something different to the Eurovision stage.
Yeah.
Now we've had a lot of up-tempo songs, relatively speaking, or like more
Mhm.
like party and dancey songs. So the songs that are just less that would be a better fit. Now, usually I would say maybe like just send a rock song. Rock doesn't do all that great in Eurovision, but it's always worth a try. But
And San Marino's done it now 3 times.
it's sort of their brand, so
Yeah.
it could be that they just send the Rumpled or did they have another rock band? I forget the name now. It's entirely possible. At the same time, I think something different would work better. So then you're looking at someone like Angie or something, like one of the most like more emotionally, yeah, just one of the more emotional songs.
Mhm.
San Marino is
We've got
always
a
unlikely
distinct
to
lack of
qualify.
ballads this year. We
Yeah,
have like two. It's a little weird.
San Marino is always unlikely to qualify, so that's not going to change.
Mhm.
But
But I
this
do
might
think
be
this
the
is a
year that
year. I think that this is a year where it's more likely than other years, not because the quality of songs in San Marino Song Contest is good, but because the rest of this year has been kind of a trash fire.
or at least it all seems very open in what can win. There are quite a few songs I like this year, but they aren't the
There
songs I
aren't
usually
really
see
front
as like a top ten,
runners.
top five finisher or even top 10. Yeah, there's not really a clear front runner at the
You
moment,
know, all the odds are on Sweden, and Sweden hasn't even picked their song, you know? Like,
and nobody is even really sure what's winning in Sweden. Like it's less of an endorsement of oh, Mant or
bada bada
whoever is
bastu,
definitely going to win, or
everybody.
exactly, it's not necessarily an endorsement of that or not. It's just, well, I guess Sweden can always win. They're almost always in the final, and that's the kind of guesswork we're in with now. So who knows?
Yeah.
Valentina Moneta's backyard 2026 could be on. Um,
Yeah. So this is where we're at.
this is where it's
This is where we're at.
this is just a very difficult national final to talk about beforehand. Other years it was much
Yeah.
more possible. This year it's just
It's so
very
condensed and it's so like the rules have been so all over the place that it's really difficult to say anything.
yeah. That's just it, isn't it?
TLDR, San Marino's hard. Nobody really knows what's going on. And we're gonna find out, and we'll see you after we find out. So that'll be an interesting discussion. So if you want to see our post video, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel to see it when it comes out and to see all of our other videos, including discussions about other national finals. We have interviews, we have song reactions, we have all sorts of cool things. You can like this video, you can leave a comment. Tell us what your favorite song in San Marino is, because I do want to know. And you can also check out our website, www.thateurovisionsite.com, bringing you all the latest Eurovision news, rankings, editorials, and more. And you can find the website on social media at that Euro site. We are on basically every social media platform. Socials of staff members featured in this video will be in the description below. And oh, podcast. An audio version of this discussion will go up on That Eurovision Podcast, which is our podcast. You can find it on our website. You can find it at That Euro Podcast on socials, or you can find it by searching That Eurovision Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you like to listen. Have I forgotten anything?
I think that's everything.
All right. Um,
Thank you so much
yeah,
for watching slash listening, and
yes.
arrivederci.
Arrivederci.